Why on earth am I suddenly posting these videos on social media? The thing is, when I was a kid, I was bullied and pushed around a lot. And sure, I was bullied by the neighborhood kids and all that stuff. But you know what was worse? I was bullied by doctors. When I was 12, sometimes I'd wake up and have my first bite of breakfast and everything would start hurting. I just turned white. I felt awful. I started missing a lot of school. My mom brought me to a ton of different doctors and eventually I ended up at a gastroenterologist's office. After a full physical exam, he sat down and he looked at me and he said, "There's nothing wrong with your body. Why don't you want to go to school?" I was so mad. I was incredibly sick, and this doctor actually suggested my mom take me to seek mental health counseling to figure out why I hated school so much. About a month later, I spent a week in the hospital because my body did have something wrong with it, and it had nothing to do with me not wanting to go to school. I was treated with a couple medications that I needed to stay on for a really long time. I kept getting sicker and kept getting prescribed more and more medication. Then they'd increase the dose, then they'd add another medication, increase the dose, add another medication, until I was about 22 when someone suggested I go see a naturopathic doctor. She was so compassionate. She listened to my entire story. And she said, "You know what? There's another way to handle your health." She recommended dietary changes, lifestyle stuff, managing stress, sleeping, and a handful of supplements to get my body back on track. Before starting any of those things, I went to my primary doctor and asked what they thought about it. My doctor laughed at me and said, "None of that's going to work," and then told me to schedule our regular follow-up appointment. They didn't discuss these options with me. They didn't tell me why they wouldn't work. They just laughed it off. And you know what? I tried that other doctor's approach even without my primary doctor's blessing. And I got better. I weaned off of every medication that I was on. This was, 15, 20 years ago, and I've not taken a single medication or had any symptoms ever since. And if this story makes you feel anything, I want you to know this is not even a bad story. I've talked to so many people who had it way worse. I would never expect any doctor to know everything, but for a doctor to laugh at me when I suggested a treatment plan that actually ended up being the solution, that is unacceptable. If you're working with your doctor and you're super healthy and you're happy with the way that you're being treated, then I don't care what you're doing. If it's medications or supplements or lifestyle, I don't care. I want you to feel the way that you want to feel and be treated the way that you want to be treated. But if you're going down a path with a doctor and it's not working or you don't like it, I want you to know that there is another way. You don't have to listen to me. You don't have to think that I'm right. You have to know that you have options. I don't want you to walk away from these videos thinking, "Oh, that guy's smart." I want you to walk away thinking, maybe there's another way. And for the record, I definitely solved the problem of being bullied by the neighborhood kids too. So let me know if you want to hear that story.